10. Aha. Well, again, because we got such short chapters, I can just take Miss Lisher here up to level 10. And protagonist to Summon Knight 5, get used to seeing him now because we're not really going to use him ever again. He just becomes armor in a way. We only need him for this power, really. And yeah, that's all he needs. But Lisher here, Lisher's different. We get Falth. And you think, well, do we get the girl protagonist? Yeah, we do, but we won't really see her much. I need that. I need very important abilities of this, 3, 4, 5, and I need that. So unfortunately, I didn't get... The one thing I didn't get, which you might have noticed, was that anytime a character ends a fight that's, that's part of our party already, gets an extra, 10 skill points. And that's actually very important, and it's why I was taking some extra turns with Raj or Ati or Amu and Natsumi and Nesty here to make sure they ended the fight specifically as they did. Unfortunately, it's because I really, it was actually extremely important for the skill points. Very important. Obviously, because you want skill points for your characters and stuff. And you know what? Ist is so good if you think he's such an untrustworthy fellow. He's still so good. He's still okay to go fishing with our good friends, like the legendary fisher person Amu, various other Summon Night protagonists, and the big man, the big cat himself, Big the Cat. It all keeps coming back full circle to fishing. The true passion of every game. Every game can be a fishing game. But yeah, we just keep going. We keep getting reintroduced to all the stuff in this world. And you know what? We haven't tried out the shop yet. Wonder what's at the shop now. Aha! Well, what's this? A very important item I need. You want to know why? Because it's a very important accessory. You want to know why that accessory is so important? Not that. No. I need to go in here and give you... It's a magic accessory that, all these things just do various things like help you with status effects, like poison, sleep, get small little buffs. That's great and all. Until we get to a magical crown. And, I think a plus 10 attack to magical attack. Now, if that's not broken at the, at this point in the game, I don't know what is anymore. I actually don't know what is. I think this is... Yes, it is. As a Yukos summon. That's the one. That is the one. Now, you might think, well, Damo, why is that so important? Did you not see Lisha's stats? And that I have she has over 100 magic attack. And, the game kind of expects you right about now to use the characters that you have and only level them up to maybe not even 5. You want to know why that Summon Burst is so powerful at level 10 that I have right about here? Falth is not even going to use it.
My turn now.
The goodest of girls, Lisha here, is about to annihilate these level 3 characters in one shot. Both of them. With doing about nearly 200 damage. Yeah! Oh, that feels good to use. So yeah, some of us can be extremely useful for ending fights really quickly. And we still get an S rank. Don't ask me how rank. I'd tell you how rankings work if I actually knew how they worked myself. Unfortunately... yeah, look... You can go online, you can go online yourself if you're, you might get interested in this game now. You could go looking around. I've gone looking around, casually as well, to find out how do you get just S ranks? Like, how does this work out? As it turns out, it's one of those mysteries that we've just been thrown up in the air, and it's like, well, just try whatever works, really. Maybe something will stick on, that fridge, but, clear turn number? No. Oh, you think it might be you think it might be clear turn number? No. No, it's not. Nuh-uh. No, siree. Because you can clear some chapters and battles within about 3 turns, and the game will give you a B ranking. You could do the same amount of turns, use magic to clear it only, and the game will give you a C. That's why it's not very clear. But this fight is important, because that bidding war choice basically comes into effect here. Every protagonist is together, we've all caught up on our timelines. The timeline has converged. We're done killing the past. And learning the future, potentially. This one is important. I need you, and you. Yes, that is correct. Yes, and we can start. Now, you might remember earlier, as I mentioned before, that little, remember those summon bursts? And you're like, well, how do I keep using those? I want to get full MP back again. See, this game just keeps going with a couple tutorials as we go along. It just keeps going with a few little tutorials here. You might notice, oh, my MP's gone. Like 80% of it's basically gone. How do I get that back? Well, that little tutorial and this little mechanic I was using back in when we first controlled Armu and Natsumi with Tori is called Swap Out. And what Swap Out does is, instead of like some strategy games where I'll put, because it's the most famous example, I think Shining Force, no, actually, you know what, I'm going to use Shining Force for this one. Stuff Nintendo for this one. I'm sorry, I had to say it. I'm sorry. I don't have anything against it, but let's give some love to, you know, let's give some love to lesser known ones today. That Shining Force has it that, you know, say you can only use about like 6 characters on the map. That's all you get. This game does one better. It does one better. Because of Swap Out, you can use whatever character you... Literally, you can use whatever character you want. So, what you do is you just change that to a different character. To, you know... And you're like, oh, okay, I guess that other character just, you know, keeps whatever stats they have. All the MP is just, you know, it's just used up as it is. It stays like that forever. You'd think that would be the case. You'd assume that would be the case. Until the game mentions that, no. You're rewarded for actually using the swap out mechanic. As it turns out. I know, surprising, isn't it? Right? The way it rewards you is that when you swap a character out and a new character in, the character that gets put away is, the character that gets put away starts healing both HP and MP, especially their MP. So if you ever were wondering, well, how do I get a character's MP back? You just swap a new character in. It's just that simple. So I'm going to change Natsumi here for our gold buddy Nesty. Good old Nesty here. Can't go wrong with Nesty. Our good friend Nesty here, and we're just going to take down this. Just take this spider bot down. Don't worry about him. He's nothing. He is nothing. We're just going to swap in Nesty. And now, while Nesty is in, and every character on the little bar at the top right corner there of this game screen goes by, every tick of that bar is just means Natsumi and whoever else you've swapped in, they recover both health if they've lost health, and MP. Especially MP, until they get to full, or until you decide to swap them back in again, and it's plain and see to the world. This game actually rewards you for doing such a thing. You can swap out characters on the fly, and you are absolutely not punished for it. So obviously, I, as a speedrunner, well, I'm going to take advantage of that, especially around, like, as we keep going. That's the beauty about this game. You can play this exactly as you like. You want to break this game wide open. This game's like, here's the door. This game just goes, there's the door. Feel free. And that's just fantastic. So, I think that's enough about this game for for just a small, tiny bit. Who did I need to enter? Okay, as long as they're there, that's perfectly fine. As long as I have certain characters in, it makes it faster to select them and deploy new characters. The only caveat to the swap out mechanic is that, well, you see, I can't swap Armu out. Otherwise, I'd put Natsumi in here instead. If a character... Certain fights as we go along this game, especially story-wise, will, you know, force you to use characters, so as much as I don't want to use them, such as, well, I think in the next chapter, I'll have Kyle showing up, and Falth will have to get a couple of uses again, even when I don't want to use him, but there they'll be, unfortunately. Then there's not much I can do about it, other than just, well, really, I'm just gonna have them sit in the corner and do nothing, because I don't need to use them. I don't think they're good characters, really. I mean, yeah, there's nothing too major there.
That's about right. Good going, everyone.
You know, we kind of want to focus on the main man, Raj. How is that an S rank? That was an A rank last time I did all that. What the heck is going on? But yeah, you think, okay, you know, these stats, you know, damn, these stats are looking average and whatever. There's nothing there. You know, we just got like this, you're just boosting him. You know, he's only got these stats. Well, here's the thing. As you level them up, you get to change their class. And at level 13, every character gets, you know, like 3-4 classes at certain levels, and the last one is a hidden requirement. Now, watch his stats as soon as I go here. Yeah. Yeah. It starts getting to a head here. Oh, I picked the wrong thing. He should have been level 12. But you know what? That's whatever. I can get things. I think I can get this early. Yep. And with new classes comes new abilities. But I'll come back to this side later. That's basically everyone gets a new ability. You know what? Just because we can, we're gonna give Raj a little bit of extra luck. Just a little bit of extra luck there. Because, you know, we want him to be a bit lucky. And, yeah. Fun fact, there is in fact a crit mechanic. There's a critical chance mechanic in that. And you know what it all depends on? How lucky a character is. I'm going to depend on Raj to be extremely lucky because, unfortunately, magic doesn't fall under luck. You can't crit with magic. As much as I would love to crit with magic, yeah, we can't do that. Because magic is a guaranteed 100% hit rate, and until it's not. Except in the small cases where it's not. But other than that, it's 100% hit rate. That's the trade-off. We don't get to be lucky with magic. We get to do big damage with magic, and that's good enough for us. Now for this, I need this, you, and you. We need a specific strategy on this one. I need to put you there. I need to put you here. That I need to swap that way, I think. Yep, that looks right. Right, very specific. Unfortunately, because, you know, now that I'm starting to get really powerful, but I still have to follow a strategy, because each level is laid out in a very similar fashion. I need to connect to... Yep, here. I need to bring you up to here. Yes. Yep, that's enough. I need to change it. Okay, yeah. Connect, bring you over to here. Yes. And then I need to... this is one of the 2-3 uses I use of the stepping stone. Because that cliff there, bit too high for me to actually get up there. Unfortunately. And you know what? I'm going to give you an extra... I'm going to give everyone here an extra fun tip for those of you who might have been struggling with the little challenge. Every stage has a challenge called a Brave Order. And honestly, that Brave Order is really just there to add a bit of extra challenge to the game, which I think is quite nice. So some of them will have you ask you to get... You know, destroy a certain amount of enemies with this character, or, no, I need you to connect you. Connect Azlia, to get this for that, and Well, you didn't summon it in the right place, unfortunately. But or a challenge like destroy a certain enemy within 20 turns, and each character on the bar there is a turn. Well, for those of you who might have been struggling on like, how do I do that on this stage? You just use a stepping block. There's like a guide out there that just did something really, really dumb. Like, have Raj at like level 70 and come back and get it, but you never even needed it. You never, ever, ever needed it at all. All you actually needed, excuse me, was just stepping block and put it next to the cliff. That's all you actually needed to do. And you get stepping block like chapter 3. It's really early in the game. How did people miss it? I don't know, but yeah, that's the one. That's sometimes it's just the magical thing about finding out about this game, and even this series, because like I said before, it's Summer Night. Well, it's in the title, Summer Night 6. Rest of name, Lost Borders. Yeah, I know. Well, if you consider the walls borders, yeah, they did become lost. The streams parted and collapsed everywhere. Verse League, not Terse League. I'm a moron. So yeah, we'll actually get to see what Verse League actually looks like. So I think, yep, that. So yeah, you see how that big turn on there? He's right about number 6, 7. Yeah, his bar's just gonna be yeeted away. We're just gonna yeet that bar right away. With no mercy right there. Utterly no mercy to that particular creature. No mercy whatsoever. Who do I need to end this with? Okay, yeah, you do need to be in the fight, but I'd like an answer.
My turn now.
As well. We'll keep going.
I made that look good.
So,
My turn.
like I mentioned, the title was Summer Night 6, and I said, well, this is a celebration game that features every other mainline. Basically, it has a mention of, and it does have a mention of every Summer Night game
I have more to give.
that came before
Hello.
it.
Bro, I need to ask
From
you.
Summer Night 1 to 5, the mainline series. It goes even to Swordcraft Story 1 and 2. They do have well, they don't really have cameos as characters. They
What
instead,
MLVL without items you have?
They instead get mentioned in the galleries, and as hidden items you can collect. So the little thing in this world, the reason that you're able to actually, summon and do things is just because of sheets of paper. Obviously, well, I mean, they're not cards, but they look like cards, but they're not cards. They're called like little leaflets, right? But you can pretend they're cards and act as if this is now Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's unfortunately. Oh, I don't have enough crystal. Well, whatever. But just deal with that.
I am finished.
Excuse me.
See if you can keep that
Yeah.
up. My turn.
And on every one of those cards is like a little bit of history, a little blurb, and basically every character in this series. No, that's too far away. I need to be here to summon Natsumi. Yeah, so that's where the Swordcraft Story characters actually are. Ooh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna put Nesty right over here to be connected, and we'll shift him forward. Yeah. So everyone's here. Everyone gets a mention. The Swordcraft Story people 1 and 2, basically all the characters in there. All the main ones, not something like Villager A, or if there's a fish. I know there's a fishing minigame in number 2. I don't know about number 1. If someone wants to correct me on that, feel free. That is fine. To even the games that never came over here, that aren't just Summer Nights 1 through 4. It's or that never actually came out in English, unfortunately. Like, that's the unfortunate part, I always find. They even mention these side games that are actually kind of like the Yeast series, or the YS, however that's actually said. Or pronounced it. It's always pronounced something different. There's fishing in 5? Well, yeah. Jeez, there's fishing in every Summer. There might be fishing in every Summer Night game. There we go. Fishing is the best minigame, confirmed. We can't... Fishing is the best. It's just so good. Oh, actually did need to be this way. I'm going to take this there. Yep, okay, Addy did actually need to be in the fight there. That's gonna have to be solved a bit later. In skill. You really can't get anything there. I'm gonna have to come back to... I will have to come back to that, unfortunately. I've messed up some of my routing, but that is okay, because instead of a thing there, I'll do that. So now we've come to our make our choice thing. But yeah, it mentions every Summer Night game. So we've picked Raj.
Here we go.
He is now our protagonist we follow. Right to the end. Because he's going to be our main man. We now pick Raj. Because, in a way, we're Ist. And we're just like, Ist is honestly trying to figure out who's the most interesting character. And we just make that, and we, as the player, make that choice for him. And, well, we've now decided that Raj is the most important, unfortunately. I would have preferred Armu, but you know what? We'll give Raj his time to shine, because he's just so strong. And now he's gained the ability to fish. Unfortunately, there's nothing good attached to the fishing minigame, so, well, there is some stuff attached to it, but mainly cooking, but I don't need cooking, and I don't need the various leaflets that can just be put into the gallery everywhere. So I'm not gonna be very interested in that one. As much as I would love to fish, cannot do that. This will come important very shortly. Pay attention. Actually, you can pay attention if you want to this. You might think, wow, what are you doing, Damer? Why are you doing this? Well, I'm just getting some extra EXP from characters who don't matter, like Mr. Benusu over there and Mr. Canon. As useful as he was for like one fight, don't need to worry about him. But yeah, every Summon Night character is mentioned here, all the way from, I'm going to have to turn a light on, because I actually did get these games to show off that, yeah, these games exist, and that way I don't actually have to look at, you get given a magical crown, you get given a magical crown, you don't. Come on, give me back to my mages again. You got a magical crown. Okay, yep, that's enough magical crown giving to people there. I needed to buff something, but it's whatever. We'll come back. That's not needed right about at this moment. So we're just going to clear out all our new places we can explore. I think I'll come back to I think there's Summer Night, they are Summer Night, X Thesis and Crown, and it's like a big history of Summer Night games, and that spanned, a lot of them came out on the, funnily enough, a lot of those games came out on the PS2, surprisingly. So, yeah, it's, to me, that's shocking. I'm like, how do these games just never make it overseas? Why did we never even get the mainline series game? Because, fun fact, we never even got a mainline series Summer Night game. You know, the numbered games, the actual mainline games here, until about, in English at least, until about 2000, in like the mid 2010s, because it came out really late. I think to maybe 2009, I want to say, when it came out on the PSP. And I don't think many people bought that, but you know what? People who published that, Gaijin Works, they weren't too fussed. They're not too fussed about that, and that is A-okay. Who do I level? Okay, so that's we can just kind of drop the ball here. Let's show we have to, so we go, I need to summon specific people here, because strategy is still really, really important in that 3, and our good buddy is here, but he's not going to be here for long. So that we're all combined. Oh my god, this. Excuse me. Oh my god. Must have had a big dinner. Big dinner. Really?
Here we go.
You know what? Don't need to worry. And we don't even need to worry about that little extra
join
blurb
forces.
there called Summon Burst 2, because you know what? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to us, because instead, we want to annihilate the competition. And even though Raj is not a mage, he still has enough stats at level 13 plus the class change to just annihilate the competition. Because he's just so powerful at this point, with that class change, becoming from just a basic cocoon warrior to now becoming like an extremely brave person. I think, yeah, actually, I'm supposed to change out to, well, cannon fodder, really. Yes, cannon, right there. Change you out right over here. Yes.
Here goes.
Change you. I need to move you here and change you for Atty. Atty needs to actually be at a higher level, so she has to stay in the fight.
Lesson's over.
Because I messed up, and I should have really remembered that, yeah, I did mess up. I need to fix that. But I'm not going to be too worried about that, thank God. Secret gaze, and, you know, you can collect these. Ooh, yeah, I want that guy down there. Please tell me I did not hit the hippo in front of me. How did I miss? Oh, it's so hard to actually see that stupid hippo. You're kidding me. Yeah. Which means he's gonna die next turn, but that's okay because I can resummon Natsume here. Raj is not really going to be used this fight, for a change, despite the fact that he's so uber powerful that, you know, he could be used, but we're not going to use him as much because he's Summon Burst, and that's another caveat of Summon Burst, unfortunately. That once you use, like, the character that uses it, no matter how fast they are, because turn order is, even though it's random, it's also decided by speed, mostly speed. Despite that, because it's mostly decided by speed. Let me get some assist for this one. Because it's mostly decided by speed, it means faster characters, you know, get their turns out quicker, obviously. And you might have seen that because, well, when you, especially since we can abuse that mechanic, funnily enough, of faster characters getting turns out quicker. Because the reason, even though Natsume's level 6 right now, we're about to level her after this fight. Thank you, you know, all the EXP gain, because it's an exponential growth as, you know, as the fights get harder and harder, and yada yada yada. Thankfully.
So sad.
Natsume turns out to be one of the faster characters in the game. I know, shocking. Just naturally, she's just naturally a fast character, which is pretty fantastic, right? Because she's so naturally fast, she can get a turn out really quick, and that's actually extremely useful for us in changing characters over, because, you know, when you bring a new character out, their turn just gets sorted on the line randomly, but if you've got a really fast character, they're going to get that turn just, well, I can't really just click right now, just like that. Just like that. Snap of a finger, it's done. There's their turn. It's just come out of nowhere. How'd they get a turn so quick?
Commence battle.
Basically, right? And that's why, we kind of want to keep Natsume around. The second reason why Natsume is so useful, despite the fact that she, you know, we could see she's not really that great a mage, but we kind of let that slide because she's very fast. Well, not only is she fast, she also actually can move extremely far. Extremely far. So so every character has a set move tile. As you can see there, you know, every enemy and every character has this little blue move tile as they move around, you know, our little grid here, and I can just like mess around and do whatever, yada yada. Like I'm just spinning the control stick. Like I like that you're not really locked to a grid when you do this, which is kind of a nice touch, personally. Like, I personally enjoy that. Because it kind of shows evolution. Unlike other games, I can't remember the last Shining Force game that, you know, that kind of changed up that mechanic. But I know for a game like Fire Emblem, even though it's supposed to be a really advanced series now, their grid system's a bit kind of stiff. But I'm just gonna throw that. I'm gonna throw that one out there. It's a little stiff, little stiff. You don't really get much free reign. This game, however, gives you much more free reign in that you can kind of be halfway in between this, and it doesn't really matter. You don't even have to have your character perfectly straight in the square, and it'll straighten your character for you once you're done. Like, see, they just kind of jump to the center there, and I think that's pretty. That's a nice touch. That is actually a nice little touch. That's a greatly appreciated touch. You can show it actually evolves right there, which is kind of nice. Well, I also know, not many people might not like that, unfortunately, but, you know, I digress. Now, it was important that I actually leveled you to 12, and got you abilities before I forget and mess everything up again. That's what you actually needed. Now, the next level ups I needed to get, not yet, no. Can't do level ups. That specific level up yet. But, unfortunately, well, as our characters come together and we just realize, okay, we're starting to get used to our areas, everything's gotten bigger because we've all come together and we all need our space to move around and explore the different parts of the world and figure out why is everyone suddenly just coming from all parts of, like, you know, of every Summer Night game. They don't call it every Summer Night game because it's a different time period in every game. The mainline series follows from like 1 through to 6, and it goes in a chronological order. That's how 3 and 5 are related, and how, you know, Atty or Rex can exist in number 5. It's a chronological order like that, and it's pretty good. And it still relates to number 6. So everyone's trying to figure out, how do these relate to each other? What's going on? But we've got demon lords running around, and we've got this you know, troublemaker around too, called From the Nether, and it's not, and unfortunately it's not the Minecraft Nether either. You know, it's not that Nether. We don't go to Red Lava Place. He's more of a pink and purple kind of. He's more of a, actually no, I don't need to use cancel that. He's more of a purple and blue and kind of pink kind of thing. But he still corrupts things. You kind of don't want to make them mad, and you know, if you do, he's also, you know, it's a bit hard to kill. Can't really sleep in front of him. You touch the wrong thing and you die. Just like the net, you know, just like anything named the Nether. Really, I need to connect for you, and start. And because it's the Nether, they have extreme resistance for some reason. I think it relates to 2 Summer Night 5. That you know, they basically resist all elements, all summons, which, you know, are basically your elements of magic in this game, obviously. They resist. Please, headset, stop disconnecting and doing that stupid little. Ooh, can't really do that, but you know what? It can get rid. That's not gonna do that. I can't do that. But it's fine if Pulse kind of tanks it and he goes away. It's fine if he goes. It's no hassle, no skin off my back or anything there, because Raj is going to take care of Mr. Well, I thought he was named Nether but no, he's Degenerate Erst.
Let's kick this party up a notch.
Don't ask me. It's inappropriate, I guess. He's kind of degenerating himself into nothingness and the wrong things, really. So we kind of keep going. There's all this trouble brewing around, and our character and our fun characters just can't really. They don't really have the time to make heads or tails of like what's actually going on. Who's the real bad guy here? Because things just keep dropping in and causing a severe distraction. And our characters, you know, the heroes here of our tale, they have to deal with it. They got to deal with it. We got to deal with this immediately. Find out what's going on. Who's the real bad guy here? Ist is looking a bit shady, but, you know, these demon lords are just really grinding our gears and getting all up in our face. So, you know, no one can really help themselves. Like, no one can tell their head from their tails. We're just kind of going along. Wow, Natsumi's really short on experience right about now. That's disgusting. I need more experience with it. But whatever. Yeah, she should really be a brave candidate now. Oh, that hurts a lot. Oh, don't even have enough skill points for that. Okay, sure, whatever. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Routing on the fly, people. Very professional speedrunner here. Don't try this at home. Do not try this. Do not try routing on the fly at home unless you are really comfortable with your game. In which case, by all means, by all means, go off the beaten path whenever you want. And this game gets a bit funny in that regard. Do I have? Yes, I do. There he is. Our main man, Kyle, here. Perfect. Right. Where am I going with this? So, yeah, we got, I think that's the right... No, that's not the right response. Whatever. Look, I can't say I'm great at visual novels, but that's also another... In case anyone's ever wondering, what the heck's going on with these night conversations? Why are these... Why do we keep going through these? Well, with all the blue question... They kind of relate back to all the blue question marks just popping up everywhere. They're just everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. That's right, I needed to get my party skill. Duh, stupid. Quick attack. Right. And I need to come to this pirate ship here. Mr. Kyle, of course he was important. How did I forget it was Kyle? I knew there was a thing I needed to get to him for, and I needed to come to this pirate ship. That comes with the extra part of mainly about the Summer Night series. I think the thing that made it so popular is not just because it's a strategy RPG and there's like a lot of side content you can do in, you know, fights and that, and the most important thing, fishing. Like, fishing is extremely extensive. I'm going to put out on the limb here now, especially in this game. Like, you can just be you can spend this entire game fishing and not play the rest of this game if you want, and this game will let you. It will absolutely let you just be a master fisherman for like hours on end if you choose. It's great. It's great fun. But also, I think the thing that really made it so popular, because way back when, especially, is that it's also part visual novel. In a way, I need Natsumi. It's unfortunate. She's going to have a really risky time. Raj and Nesty here. And I think that is it. Yes, because I trade Natsumi right out for... This strategy's going to be looking a bit weird to me because I made some EXP mistakes, but that's okay. That is A-okay because this man dies.
Too bad.
It's okay, he's not a real man. And I don't mean that in any unfortunate way. He's not actually a real person. He's a bundle of string, as it becomes important to the plot. You know, as characters are really going through that, right? It really starts coming around. So, because that man is not actually a real man, wow, why the heck is that? Why is he not real? Why is he not a real man? How could he not be a real man? There's no excuse for that. No excuse for that. He can be a real man if he wants. Well, it's because he's made of string. And that's why he's literally made of string. What I need to do is I need to summon first with him. Very specific strategy to make sure none of my characters tank it, because it's very important that Lisher and Nesty survive. I think I might have to... What is that the right... No, they're off by one level. I need to swap Mirage for a new character at the end, unfortunately. Which is fine. I can bring you up here. Yep, that's fine. Hopefully that's enough to get you up here, Raj. I really, really hope.
Here we go.
Yep, that's enough to get you to sleep. Good, goody.
Full speed ahead.
Alright, we're getting up to speed, and we're getting everything
Take that.
uber powerful because Raj is so strong. I think everyone's like the enemy's levels. What have we got? What is the enemy's level? He's like level 12. We're level 16. I think we've got this.
Take that.
I think we've got this one.
Too bad. So sad.
Which is pretty good. I wish I could do. I think I could do with level 12 Lisha here, so I might be able to sort it out. I'm kind of thinking for myself here on this one because strategy is surprisingly. Oops, well, it doesn't matter if he dies. Actually, it does matter. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, I made a mistake there. It really did matter that Ishla here actually survived. My mistake. Ouch. Okay, yeah, that didn't feel too good. Should have buffed him there. So let's try that one more time with the right strategy this time instead of bringing him, you know, up and about like a moron.
Take that.
Yeah. So yeah, man's made of string, and that slowly starts becoming carried because you're like, why is this man made of string? Why are only certain people here actually, you know, real? And the people that are actually real are the ones that want to that kind of want to talk. And like these are the only people that actually want to talk and be, you know, friends and solve problems. Even the enemy there, Mr. Fella Ishla. How do we have two of those? Well, it's part of the plot of everyone just getting summoned together, including the real bad guy who does get summoned, including all the bad guys versus all the good guys, and you have all that from all the various games. That's why all the demon lords and everyone's just chilling around and making a mess everywhere because they can just totally do that, and you know, none of us are really stopping them. I think. Oh, I can get all three of those. Lucky me. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That still works out. Beautiful. Lisha gets her skill points and she sits right there. Actually, you're not needed. You just sit here for a bit. So yeah, he's just sitting there. He's just laughing at us, like laughing up a storm because yes, you know, he's just gonna laugh up a storm at us. He is the current bad guy, and we're trying to be like, who is the bad guy? Why are we constantly, you know, fighting these random people that just keep showing up? Like, we need to make sense of this. Like, what is actually going on? No one's telling us anything, and it's just kind of being mysterious. And that's it. You know what? Charging cable, off you go. That's it. I'm sick of you. All right, so we can stop seeing them. It's all fully charged anyway, so it doesn't. So I don't quite care enough. I'm sorry for those that do care about charging cables, but that's really annoying me right about now. Ooh, Raj, you're really taking it on the chin there. I need to swap you out for Natsumi because she needs the right levels, and she's gonna have to take Lisha's level for a second. But this'll all fix up and work out. Thank you. There we go.
Too bad. So sad.
So we're trying to work out who's the real bad guy here, but everyone keeps distracting us. Like, oh my god, like we've got this guy here, we've got these other guys, like we've got these demon lords, and it's like no one's really making sense because we're all keeping secrets, and it's like we're kind of like, all right, you're gonna tell us who's the real bad guy here, and all of them just kind of start going. I think I attacked wrong, Ishla. I did. That's the confusing bit, unfortunately. I sometimes end up attacking the wrong Ishla. I think what I can do is force last. That's not enough to kill him. Okay, so it'll have to be an attack. That's force last. Actually no. I can move here. That'll get an attack on there. Yes. Good. And then I use this handy-dandy special ability called Force Last to just annihilate the competition right there until. Wow, really? That didn't kill there. Okay, sure.
Here I go.
Freeze, and we'll get Raj to get the last. Ooh, lucky, lucky, lucky. That's how that's supposed to actually go, without me doing something stupid with Nesty and nearly making me have to retry this fight again, which is really bad, and that's why I get a B rank. Natsumi has to go to... first off, you need to come to level 13, that's the most important part. Right here, yes, it gets his new class. Now you can come to level 13. And I'm just going to increase that, and some defense, doesn't really matter, because you need to change to, and get 30 plus speed boost, because they're naturally right there, and Nesty just gets, now he gets 200 magic attack, for free, absolutely for free. Don't anyone ever worry about that. And with that new class comes new abilities, like strengthen, you know, because it's Summon Night, we get to, and instead of just summoning magic, you can actually summon the creatures themselves. But there's no real point to doing that, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to do it and find an actual use for it, there's no need to do it in this game. Ever. Those summoned creatures are basically just fodder. It's absolutely 100% useless. There is absolutely zero need to summon the creatures. And it wouldn't be all bad. They might have, you know, I think in previous games they actually had a use. But in this one, in Summon Night 6, the ball was kind of dropped on them because they're given their own MP bars. And you think, oh wow, that's great. You know, you could actually use them. You could, if it wasn't for the fact that their MP bars, you can't use those. They have no spells. How can you use an MP bar or if you don't have a spell or an ability? That's the disappointing part. So yeah, we don't really use that. But why? But Damer, why would we get that? Well, to buff our own characters. If mastering certain moves, gives you a small, gives your characters a small bonus in, you know, extra stats, really, in basically extra stats. Honestly, that's the main reason for it. So the reason I got, you know, an extra the ability called Preempt for Raj was not because, like, you know, it's a better counterattack move, because, well, it is. It is actually a better counterattack move, by the by. But also, the fact that by mastering it, Raj gets, or any character that also has that preempt move, that masters it, gets a bonus +5 attack. And what Nesty and what mastering Strength and Summon Unit does, for anyone that, you know, wants that, for anyone that does end up having it, is the master effect is plus, I think, just about 5 magic attack. And we want as much as possible on our mages. Not, you know, obviously to destroy enemies as fast as possible, and, you know, get ourselves moving extremely quick off their turns, yada yada yada. They never get a chance to fight back. Also to unlock, you know, Raj's ability here First League as we go, which will come apparent in about a couple chapters. Why I want to unlock this as soon as possible, or as soon as I can humanly get it. I'm going to just do this right here because I don't care. The main point of this is to just destroy the boss as fast as possible. Right about attack here. Burn.
Just embarrassing.
Great. That's great. Goodbye. Thank you, Preempt. Thank you, Raj. Yep, that is just fine because it doesn't matter. Preempt just destroys everyone. Unless they use a special ability, in which case, like, yeah, it's not destroying
See if
anyone.
you can keep up.
Which is the unfortunate part. But it's very important that we're mastering certain stats to, you know, get fantastic bonuses. Because again, it's all about levels and it's all about making out, you know, as every RPG goes. Wow, I didn't actually expect that kill, but okay, sure, why not? I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that right to the bank, right there. And I need a level on Militia because I missed it before. Now I can actually give her proper stats, such as giving her nearly 200 magic attack and the same skills of strengthening this. And with the advanced summon technique, you can see magic attack strength plus 3. I think it does have a mastering effect, but the magic attack strength goes up to like plus 15, which is... And on these characters, that's a significant amount of damage there. Like as we can kind of guess from people also talking about large damage there. But I also think, how are we doing? How is everyone doing today? I know I've been talking a lot, but you know what? I haven't had a chance to ask the general chat and my co-host here. How is everyone doing? How are we all feeling? Oops, that's the wrong one. Wrong room. I'm too used to going the opposite way. Whoops. I think everyone's just too chilled out right about now. Jeez. I know. I guess it's a very comfy time. Just woke up. Well, it is about that hour. It is about the ungodly 4 in the morning hour. I guess I can't blame people for not expecting much. So you know what? That's just fine. That's just fine. We take this nice, relaxing approach. And we don't even get too excited. You know why? Because we don't even get unexpected cutscenes. But the only thing to get excited about is that we get some very fancy tech right about here. Now, normally, this fight is that, you expect to have to go up the cliff and take out Hayato and everyone in the way, and
Here we go.
it's going to be a giant, just a giant pile of not very good things. And you're like, oh, wow, that's not gonna... You might go, wow, how do we stop that? Well, just like before, okay, this one. Aha! I remember how I work this one out. So what I do is get that, I get this, and I do that.
Okay, here we go.
That's a very important thing. Now the reason why I'm doing all these important things is what I'm doing right now is a very specific set of moves. That works out perfect, actually. What I'm doing is a very specific set of strategic moves with all of these characters. Especially Raj, with getting summon assists here. That really doesn't kill. Okay, I'm going to have to get the full weight of that really doesn't work. Are you absolutely kidding me?
That was easier than I expected.
I messed up.
Finish.
I messed up. I have to retreat.
Here we go.
Okay. Good thing we can just hit this option. That's going to waste some time. I forgot to do one thing, and turn order was messed up, but I still had that under control until I forgot to do a specific action. So the reason I'm actually doing these actions, specifically, is to avoid an annoying set of cutscenes, because like in the first start of the chapters, this game thinks Hayato and all the enemies around him are too tough for you to take out with, with your allies as they are, because the game, I think, expects you to kind of just keep your characters at level 10 to 13, but yeah, no, we're not doing that. No. That should be so. Let's try that one. Let's try that one again. Hopefully with a better turn order this time. It's looking like it is going to be a better turn order for enemies. So instead, so what I'm doing is a specific set of moves, right for these characters at their levels, their current stats, and everything, to take out Hayato before Really? It's gonna be the same story again? Okay,
I'm all in on this.
that is just fine, I think. That will be a 100%
Go for
upgrade.
broke. This is the help needed.
That's good, that'll do. So what I'm actually doing is obviously that specific set of moves. Yes, that will not kill them, but it will take up enough HP off the pumpkin there to get the kill.
Take that.
Yep, that's good.
Bye.
So what I'm doing is a specific set of moves to avoid that automatic cutscene from playing, because that I've worked it out that cutscene plays. I don't do that yet. I need to connect up. Yes. And then I need to summon assist. Hello everybody. Get that shine saber. I really wanted that pumpkin just down. Is there anything else I can gear metal? Oh really? Gear metal wasn't do it either? No, that's not doing it either. Are you absolutely serious, Atty? Why are you not destroying this thing? This is going to be trouble for me. I need Raj to be up there. Okay. I might be short a move or two. No, I'm just fine. Okay. I'm lucky I still got this. So what I'm doing is avoiding that cutscene. And to avoid that cutscene, what I have to do is that the cutscene triggers
Good enough for now.
as soon as I kill just about as soon as I defeat 3 enemies on screen. That is when that cutscene activates. I'm not gonna be able to finish that unless Hayato decides to attack me, unfortunately, because the turn order really didn't work out in my favor.
Take that.
So I think we might actually see that cutscene. But ideally, Hayato would be dead right now. Like right at this moment, he'd just be out of existence.
Take that.
So the cutscene I was trying to avoid, unfortunately, because this is a marathon, this will happen, was this series of cutscenes here, where Mr. Toya Man here, just kind of shows up, and we're like, oh, he's got to totally defeat the Demon Lord because he's level 19. You're way too low a level to do that, my dude. No, I wasn't. I had enough power to do it. I just didn't quite have the reach to get there. I didn't not have enough movement tiles. Wow, really? Really? Atty really tanked it there. Ugh. That's not good. I really needed her to be there. Okay.
That's all I can do right now.
That's gonna be trouble. That's gonna be a lot of trouble. I actually needed Ashley to stay alive for that. But, you know, apparently this game's just gonna decide that, right now, yeah, you messed up, so you're gonna pay the price just for that. But, that's fine, I'll deal with it by the next chapter because Atty will stay alive.
That's about right.
Thank
Good
God.
going,
Thank the stars. And of course, well, yeah, that's obviously just going to be a searing for us because that was a very bad stage and we really, really messed up, unfortunately. Despite the practice that I put into this, but hey, you know, you can't win them all. You cannot win them all. So that's what I was trying to avoid, the cutscene there. And for this next stage, it's going to be the same story. I'll be taking a specific set of movements just to avoid that, and it's going to be a bit touch and go. I can't really explain. I know what I should be doing, but it's going to be a bit of a weird route. So I think while I'm doing that, if someone decided to be extremely generous in the last, I think that I've been talking for like an hour or so now, or anything like that, they can feel free to really snipe some bids there because we've got a lot of great runs still ready to, you know, come right up on the block. Which can be donated there, I think, but also, they are, I kind of forget, Mr. Hostman, you reckon you can give us a hand with that one? Is he still there? Oh, whatever, I guess I'll... He might have fallen asleep. First man taking a nap. I think so. Or handling something really, really important. Which is also okay. I mean, it is 4 in the morning here. I can't really blame him. It is kind of par for the course at like 4 in the morning, unfortunately. I know we've all been a bit guilty. Wait, no, no, it's not that one. You go to Creek's Plain, genius. Even I get confused. Perfect. Yeah, it's perfect stream hours. It's perfect relaxing hours because this has some very soothing music. It's got very good music. Nice, as exciting as some of it can get, and we all point out, it does mainly have some very nice soothing music at times, and it's lovely to listen to. But I'm also kind of have to focus a bit harder rather than just go through the motions that I know I can go through. To really sort out where I'm supposed to go, and because this is also an extra force fight, where is Nazi? There we go. Okay, this should do, even if Falter's going to have to give it back up to ASCII here with attacking stuff. Should get enough skill points out of that. And here's our second use of stepping block drop, because it's going to take a while to act. This is another one where we just have to end it with killing the boss. Excuse me, thank the stars. And that's pretty good, because we're trying to avoid a cutscene here, and the cutscene, I don't actually quite 100% know where the cutscene triggers for this particular one, unfortunately. Because it's not tied to the amount of enemies that are gone. I've worked that out. Oh no, that's not what I want. That's not good. That is not good at all. No. Natsumi did not need to be paralyzed there. Dang it. Okay, I need to use an item.
This should make me feel better.
There goes my rank S performance, unfortunately. There goes your rank S performance. That's one thing I can guarantee. You use rank S. If you want to get that top ranking, you can't use items. So for those people who really wanted to have that playthrough of I want to use nothing but items, yeah, you want that S rank, you can't use items. It's unfortunate though. I need to summon Lucia for this one. This is the strategy. So yeah, the way to avoid the cutscene for this that I think is the way it works out is that to avoid the cutscene, a certain character that's in the fight called Skull, I believe it's linked to Skull specifically. He cannot take more than 3 turns before the cutscene is activated. That unfortunately is the caveat. So the actions I'm taking now, and I hope he actually survives this, so I'm actually just going to shift her up. No, I can't do that. I'm going to use this to give her straight away full health again, her special ability. Which is a big reference to, you know, how she performs in Summon Night 3. I'm not sure about 5. I don't know if you actually can use her in 5, like as a playable character, unfortunately, because of her actual role. But I'm not 100% sure of that one, unfortunately. But I'm sure someone who has played that game might actually know and could answer that question. Unfortunately, I know more about this game than I do the other Summon Night series games, and they don't really go into the detail. It's one of the games I do need to play. There's really a lot of my play. But luckily, I did actually get this strategy, which was exactly this. And that is to destroy the boss before the cutscene triggers up, where you'd actually meet Fault's female, counter-half, Arca. Or Asa. I'm pretty sure it's Arca. That sounds correct. 1918, and you boost all her magic. This is the level she should have had before. Save the class. We quickly change it to that. Nope, because the last level is given to Lisha. 20. Wow, I'm really short on experience because of that. That's okay. I made adjustments to that. Okay, so I need to sort out yours first, which is special summon units and advanced one. Not enough points, but that's okay. We'll fix that as we go. Felicia, finish this path off and get a little bit of MP because why not? Ooh, yeah, actually, that was perfect. Boom, done. Yeah, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So, we were a bit touch and go there because I did lose. Yeah, that was Arca right there. I'm glad we all got to see her for a short amount of time. Don't worry, she'll come back this chapter. So, now that that's all that out of the way and we're going here, you might be wondering, well, damn it, you did mention the visual novel aspect. Why is it so important? Like, why is that a main aspect? I thought fishing was the main draw of this game, and obviously the strategy battles. Well, yeah, we got fishing, we got strategy RPG goodness, varying degree of just grand scale there. We've also got... is this the right... No, that's not the right one. Where am I going with this? Duh, you move outside, you genius. That's right, that's what it was, because this led to this chapter. Now you keep forgetting... Yes, this one. Right, the visual novel aspect, and why night conversations are so important. Well, here's the thing. Because of all the extra, they just give you little blurbs and, side stories and interactions between all the characters that some of them are good, others not so good. I'm of the mind that, it gives the game a lot of it gives the game and all these characters a personality. You actually get to see what they're like and how they react, around them, and gives you a sense of, they actually, it kind of makes the game more immersive in that. Like, I'm trying to connect to these characters. These characters are really cool to be around. They're really neat and actually, give you, and especially us in English territories here, who never would have really known of any of the Summer Night characters, like from 1 to 4, apart from the small cameos they've been in for the games that actually did come over here, the side games, the Summer Night, like the Summer Night the Swordcraft story games from GBA, GBA. And DS, and then until 5 decided to come around, and that was released for a little bit, late in life cycles and whatnot.
No problem.
It kind of gives you a sense of like what these characters are actually like, and how they interact with everyone. And I'm of the mind they're quite nice, and that's a lucky chain attack I got there. Thank you. That makes this fight a little bit faster. You missed it. Oh, nice. It's still an S rank too. Neato. Right. So, the night conversations, it leads back to the visual novel. You get to know the characters as per. It's actually quite. I think it's quite nice writing. And I'm a person who doesn't really enjoy visual novels too much. Everyone else could feel different about that. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I don't mind them. I don't mind some, particularly some good ones like the Silver Case, and I need to finish the 25th Ward, or Summer Night 6 here, and I believe Summer Night 5 is also very good. And the reason why night conversations are so important, and it was an offered donation incentive too, but I don't think it quite got there because there's so many to pick from. The reason night conversations are so important, not just to give affinity between characters, be like, oh, maybe this will be useful in battle. No. That leads to an ending. Instead of picking your best girl and your best waifu, or your best husbando, what we're actually doing is picking the ending. is you know, slowly getting to know certain characters to get to whatever ending we decide to choose, whether it be a normal ending, the like a true ending, or wow, yeah, this guy's really far back. Okay, sure, I'm just gonna hang out here as Raj. The shine sip. Where was my cursor going there? That on. Cool, that's the good stuff. Yeah, the reason, like, to pick an ending, and this game, and the Summer Night games are, I think, nowadays, like, now that 6 is out, and people actually are kind of figuring out, you know, what this is looking like, and how it, you know, how everything's playing out, it's kind of started realizing that, wow, the Summer Night series has a really extensive ending list. You thought a game like Chrono Trigger had, like, too many endings. It's got nothing on this game. Nothing whatsoever on this game, where, because it has so many characters to choose from, and every character you can interact with has an ending, that's at least like 30-something endings already. Right? Now, how many endings do you think that is when you've got to protect... no, don't cancel connect. Crazy? Of course not. No, what do you... Look, how many endings do you think that, you know, that starts becoming when you bring... when we bring two protagonists into the equation, and each protagonist also has a specific ending with, you know, with every other character in the game. So that suddenly those endings turn from about like 30-ish, 30-odd, you know, with their own little special end screens and that, to double. And I believe there's something with Isk there too. Because he has at least one night conversation or and whatnot, but you know, it's yeah, that's another. I think that's a whole other kettle of fish on there, and I haven't even gotten every ending yet. Oh, thank the Lord, you did not kill him. Jesus Christ, I almost made a huge mistake on that one. You can get there. Let's get a shine save on. Nope, 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 no, ooh, that will, I can't really, I guess I'm going to have to use something that kills, at least it kills you. I want a specific person in this fight for a reason, because they need levels, and also helping with select order. So I need to swap Lisha out for Natsumi here, because I need to give her levels. Make her faster, and stronger, better, mainly faster. Mainly faster.
They're right. Victory sure is sweet.
Which is the most important part, so she can drag the rest of my characters' butts around. So, we turn her to 21. Yes. 10, give her about some speed. Extra speed, always a good thing. And I think, what is it? 1, 2, 3, that's important. Speed drag. And I guess a bit of that. And really, if you just upgrade whatever with her, it doesn't matter. She's done. Like this woman's done. She's everything we need, as it is. Everything we need, as is. No need for more levels for Natsumi. So yeah, like the night conversations decide all the endings, and that up to and includes, as it turns out, the true ending, who is attached to only a specific character. Every other character, you know, is a normal ending. But there's also a catch. Because of the visual novel elements in this, I'm not going to spoil who actually controls the true ending, but that same character also controls the, that character specifically also controls the, controls the bad ending. So if you get the wrong decision by the time you get to the final boss, you might have found out you accidentally triggered the bad ending. And I did put that up on offer. But true ending is a whole other kettle of fish. Like, oh, they really make you work for that true ending. That'll come much later. We don't even need to get true ending. I'll tell you about true ending when we get to the end of the game. So now, we finally get to actually, you know, have Arca or Arsa in our party, and she's level 19, and she sucks because she's only coming at level 19. I'm not even going to raise any of her skills at all. I don't need her. She's not needed whatsoever. Until a little bit later, where I pull a little cheeky trick, but that's not needed. No Raj isn't needed yet. What I actually need is Lisha, Natsumi, and Ati here. And the run is going pretty. I think it's going fairly well. I was checking up on Mr. Hostman, but I might think he might have fallen asleep from handling too many things at once. So, are you still there, my Mr. Hostman? Has he got? I think we got. I can spare some free time if one of our viewers is, if a few people have decided to be very generous for our local charity here, who's always been good to us. I need to change this to Raj. I think Mr. Hostman's still out like a light. Oh boy. That's okay. But we're about over halfway. But as a reminder for this run, we are just about over. Well, I'm about over the halfway mark with only just about an hour to go. Until I think that change is to Amnesia.
Watch and learn.
Alright then. That's fine. That's just fine. Thanks for letting me know that one. I'll keep that one under control. I thought it would be nice to, you know, just in case there was a little something that turned up. But I think everyone's just pretty. Everyone's having just a really comfy, quiet time.
That's about it.
It's nice. It's a nice, relaxing time we're all having. We're all having a good time. We're all having a good time, enjoying this fine, unique strategy game, which is, I think, is just. I forgot to attach a thing there, but that's whatever. This fine, unique strategy game that I think is... Look, I know we had Fire Emblem at a start, run by Miss Aeon Frodo there, and, look, okay, the newest one's a good game, but, unfortunately, yeah, look, I think this game and this series is, better than Fire Emblem. A few Fire Emblem games. There's some out there that apparently are really, really good games that have really good stories, but just like with a lot of other Japanese titles of way back over yonder, of the ye olde times of about the late 90s to early 2000s to early 2000s, they never quite made it over to overseas shores in any way, shape, or form. I mean, for Christ's sake, we took what? I mean, for Christ's sake, like, Earthbound was like a game everyone knew back on the SNES era, but that never came out to Australia until, like, you know, the Wii U, and people had to kind of fight for that too. Like, come on now. Like, come on now. Come. I think actually, yes. Yes, this will go well. This will go well because I've messed up a little bit, but that's fine.
That's it for now.
With all that speed Natsumi's given us, I am going to wait this one out for the next Raj turn, because you see how I'm going to pull this cheeky swap out and Natsumi got a turn instantly? Well, let's see what happens if I swap back to Miss Lisha here on the teleport pad. Right now. Let's see where she ends up on the turn line. And this is where you start seeing how some of the mechanics in this game can work out and how broken they can be. Look, she's instantly back on this turn line. And the only unfortunate part is that to use teleporters, well, you have to wait on them. And the other catch is that for another character to use that same teleporter, to, you know, go to wherever the other side is, you can't have another character sitting on that teleporter still waiting to move off. That's the, that's our little drawback, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So, that's why you kind of start using that little mechanic of swapping characters in and out, and I think the game kind of encourages you to, you know, to really experiment and find a playstyle you like. And like, well, I think all, you know, every game has their own, you know, little
Here we go.
like little niche and little, like, you know, its own little playstyle to mess around and have some fun with. Unfortunately, I have to, which one is it? Bright leaf? Yeah, bright
Be
leaf.
careful out there.
To mess around with that.
Good enough.
I think I can, yeah. I'm just gonna
Come with me.
down here. Yes, that.
Good enough for now.
And just connect
Come
this
with me.
to here, and I'll just right there.
Good enough for now.
Okay, that's fine.
Your turn.
It's your turn, actually. Ooh, stealing your MP is not good, but that's fine. But yeah, like every game has like its own little mechanics, and this mainline series just lets you really play around, especially with just experimenting with what you think is the absolute. That I actually do need to summon him next. So let's move you off to the side.
Commencing
Move you
operation.
outside,
That's
to
about
here,
it.
get back up.
Showtime.
Ooh, now I'm gonna have to really just come in here, get rid of you. Such as like the swap out mechanic, which not a lot of strategy games would let you do. But it's very useful, and this game kind of does direct you around that path to, don't put darkness on me, for the love of God. Like, to take advantage of that and summon a new character, to, you know, you really play around, like, either hitting a switch to deactivate something, or especially, you know, changing characters on the teleport, and your reward turns out to be, I think, actually, I'm going to have to use Nessie for this one, to get a turn sooner, on here. Yeah, as it might turn out. Ooh, that's not good on this electrical floor. Uh-oh. And his MP's good. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to assist. Shine Saber. Wow, you really nearly died too. That's fine. Get off the floor. You know, get off the floor. Don't go on the floor because we're not doing a dinosaur. Move you up here. Unfortunately, the worst thing about this is the fact that I have to keep curing status effects, and if a character has a status effect on them, you can't swap them out. That's the bad thing you can't swap out for, unfortunately, is that if a character does have a status effect on them, I have to immediately cure him of that status effect. Oh, this touching. I think. Wow, not even. You're absolutely serious right now. Okay, sure, my friend. Ugh, really did need to get more. Okay. God help me. That's not good. I really should have killed that enemy when I had a chance, huh? It's gonna be a lot of trouble if Rod dies, because I need to restart the stage, which is not good. Alright, so Nestie's just gonna have to have a lower level. I hope I'm not gonna need to. No. How did preempt on activate this? Sure, whatever. Alright, sure. Just gonna have to roll with this and hope this should be active.
So sad.
Alright, Nestie's not going to get his levels, but that's okay. Right, yeah, so as the story's going on, you know, we keep going and going and going, and this is where we're starting to hit the point where we've got enough characters who kind of know what, everything that's going on, and, you know, the world around them. That, like, you know, oh, these demon lords, they're not the guys we're after. You know, they're bad, they're a problem, and we actually do need to. It's like, and everyone needs to come together and help take care of it. So obviously, we do the anime thing of basically, you know, either getting them to stop what they're doing to actually, and we ask them to work together with us, or we, you know, spoilers, you know, come all together and they actually do, they get the ending of their own games, which is, you know, the good ending, like, oh, they turned the evil guy to good because he was taken over by evil substance, which was actually Nether Earthsphere. He was taken over by Nether you know, a bad substance, the bad juju from deep space in between worlds, because it's all sciencey and part magic with, you know, summon creatures and etc, etc, etc. Whereas the Demon Lords whereas like, you know, Demon Lords, it's different where we just kind of be like, yo, could you stop? And they're just kind of like, yeah, alright. And just kind of like, yeah, okay, but you gotta know there's like some bad mojo happening around here that's not caused by us, and we're just kind of like, yeah, we know. So we need you to stop doing that, and they're just kind of going like, okay, alright, man. It's like, yeah, alright, you know, we'll put it off on. It's like, fine, you know. It's like, I don't want to destroy the world. You know, they want to take over the world, because you can't really take over the world if it's destroyed. Our good friend, like Dr. Eggman, you know, that's why he always keeps turning good and working with the main man Sonic, or the main hedgehog Sonic, and friends, because when the world's about to be destroyed, he can't really build Eggman Land on you know, a world that doesn't exist anymore. This one needs to be Natsumi, and yeah, Natsumi, Raj, Lisha, and... wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, Lisha, no, I won't have Lisha there. I need Nesty there because he needs levels. Yeah, that's good, that's good. And I need to swap these two. I'm getting ahead of myself, Darren. You are getting ahead of yourself. Which is fine. But yeah, people are causing problems, and we're just kind of slowly making our way going, right, we're sick of you lot. It's time to actually, you know, come together and, you know, really put everyone in their places and find the real cause of destruction for Cocoon World, Cocoon World, Felucia. That was the name I said, yes, I think so. Something like that. I forget. I'm starting to go mad at this point because it's like 4 in the morning and we're both tired and we're all busy. But we're doing our utter best, and this game's very, very comfy. Very, very comfy. So we just keep working through as we do. Where's my light on? Okay, sure, whatever. So we go through that, and we start really seeing the points. And if you've kind of paid attention to all the spider bots that come around, like why, like you just kind of start going, why all the spider bots? What's the point of them existing? Why are they just, you know, existing? Like, why are these guys the big bad guys right now? Well. Let me swap her for Hattie at some point. Well, you might be surprised to know that the reason there's so many spider enemies, and you know, they turn back into string, all these non-existent enemies that don't quite, you know, exist properly. Why they do turn back into string is because, spoilers, the big bad guy that wants to destroy the world is a giant spider monster. But because this is also a JRPG, that giant spider monster is yeah, look, they're God. Okay, they are the god of Cocoon World, Felucia, and there's like, and I believe it's Felucia, and that's it's actually like, and you know, that's the plot of this game. The reason all the strings are coming together and why everyone's being summoned, they're being summoned from their own universe, as it turns out, their own universes and timelines, because spider strings from this other world, Felucia, has been going to the main Summon Night universes and just pulling everything, items, people, places, you name it, the strings are pulling him from all across time and space. So as we're, you know, dealing with all our past transgressions, we are like the past and the future, the present, wherever. Just time is all. You know, it's all on that weird string precipice, and it's just having a really rough time. And we're just having a really rough time of just taking, you know, sorting out where is this, you know, mad spider that may or may not be a super giant, you know, at where is this godly being? Yeah, he's in like the center of the universe, which he's in the center of the world, which we saw kind of broken open, I think, right about then and there. But you know, that's. I forgot to make Raj 25, and oh god, that's bad. How do I fix that? Ah, duh, I could fix that. Well, I'm gonna do something really, really dumb because I was too busy focusing on exactly. Yeah, time's all just, it's all gone weird, and it's up to us to not only kill the past, we've got to kill the present and the future. It's not quite Sonic 06 levels of that, but because, you know, we don't go to different time periods. Instead, different time periods come to us, so it makes it a heck of a lot easier. Who'd have thought that, eh? It makes that a heck of a lot easier, eh? I need to fix something real quick because I forgot some levels. So instead, we get this little mechanic here that I never would have done in the run if I'm not so stupid, but just because it's the marathon, I'm going to show it off anyway because, again, I'm quite bad at this, and yes, I did have practice it, but when your mind gets focused on like, oh crap, you know, writing on the fly because things have just been going absolutely wrong, kind of just got to do this to reset 2 characters' levels because they were really far behind and I got too worried about them. So remember kids, always pay attention to what you're doing. Whether it's speedrunning, driving, reading, writing, the hotline, solving the past, killing the future, getting EXP, you name it, you know, pay attention. You gotta pay attention. Even relaxing, you gotta pay attention to your relaxing. You don't want to relax too hard now. You know, you might end up relaxing just a bit too hard, and you realize I shouldn't have done that. And you know, before you know it, you're asleep. So yeah, that's why you should. You know, sometimes you want to pay attention to your relaxing, but we'll come back to it. It's like, but that's some general life advice. See, you're learning we all learn as we go as well. Who says you don't learn something from video games? That's not realistic. Obviously, like you learn plenty from video games. 5, I need it, and max HP 22. Wow, I've got a lot of points. I can just blow here, get me up to speed, and well, actually, just because I can, I'm just going to get stuff on level 8 because I need EXP to really soar. Boom. Yeah, that's good. Good enough. Okay, perfect. Right, we're all fixed now, and I think I messed that one. I'll split up there. Yeah, it's whatever. I don't care. Yeah, and you get bonuses, and you even get to go on little quests and just, you know, watch your abilities there. That's another thing, another little feature of this game. This game has, like, so many things to do. That's the wrong thing. Where is that forest? Here it is. You need to go to the local forest. We can't find Link yet. Link's in about, like, another 8 hours or so, I think. Yeah, this is not his forest because there's machines and stuff there. This might be the Twilight Princess forest, but no, this is more the Summon Night forest. With all the worlds and all their names, like, Machopa, L'Oreal, not the beautification company, Demon World, and some other place across there. But yeah, all the strings from the Cider Monster are just being summoned, and you know, we're trying to solve it, and you know, and as true JRPG fashion, we realize he's a selfish, you know, jerk. So we gotta go beat him up, and we beat him up so bad he dies. Well, or does he? Yeah. I need nothing. Mission. Yes, that shall will do. And yep, that's. Why am I forgetting Natsumi? Duh, you need Natsumi there. You can't forget Natsumi. Yeah. This needs to be very specific here. And you want to know why it's very specific? Excuse me.
Here I go.
Connect. Move you. To you there, and swap you for Nesty here, because it's very important that we swap you right in there. Right now I can do this, and it's, again, we're doing this to fight the spider mobs, and like I said before, it's time to start going towards the end of the game, so we gotta really beat that demon. And as it turns out, remember that Toya guy who interrupted with cutscenes like, aha, I'm the hero, I'm totally the best, you know, respect me. Yeah, as it turns out, instead of talking it over like, you know, actual rational human beings, like we should be, instead we're on the mindset of like, nah, mate, stuff that. You know, like, you're not gonna get me to come to your side, even though, you know, I'm not gonna tell you any information until you can prove that, you know, you can be trustworthy, which means we're gonna fight for a little bit. So that's exactly what we do for a while. And we give him a smack upside the head and go, oi, we know, and we just kind of go like, oi, mate, I know. It's like, we know already. What's the actual reason? Where's the dude really causing all the mess? And we just kind of like fluff around a little bit, because then you know, like Demon Lord Hayato just kind of crops up out of the woodwork going, aha, how did you forget about me, people? I'm going to devour and, you know, consume all of you. Like, I've got to consume you. That's basically his entire shtick. Yeah, that's his entire line, in case you ever wondered and you couldn't quite hear it properly. Yeah, that's the line he says. I'll consume you, because he wants to consume the world. I know, instead... Really? Did I really get paralyzed there? Are you kidding? Wow, the whole... Status effects just out the woodwork. Just getting hit with everything today.
That's all I can do right now.
Why not? Sure. Let's go get hit with every status effect. That's just peachy. No problems there whatsoever. That going. Wow, really? I can't reach up there. Sure, why not? All right, that's enough.
Evil can never prevail.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter who we last see. As long as someone's around. Ooh, really should have. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, because I can't even move far with the paralysis until it goes away. Should have cured, but why not? Toya will take some time to come down. But yeah, we're just trying to really work out where is the person really causing all these problems, right? And as it turns, or the being causing all these problems, as it turns out, that being's in the center of the world, and but until we sort out all the demon lords, and bring them to heel, going, yeah, do you mind? And just going, do you mind, good sirs? Can you stop? And they're just like, yeah, all right, fine, we'll stop for now. Dun dun. With the literally the whole dun dun with insert that Law and Order sound effects right about there. That they basically match up. Ooh, yes, that's the heck yes, good night, good sir. Because he's a melee character, which means against mages he loses badly. Right, which means I also get to use, well, the upgraded Spurs League 2, which gives me another move slot. And so that would obviously mean, like Verse League would be Verse League 2, which would, you'd think it would delay turns even more, but no, it actually doesn't do. It doesn't do just that. No. Lucky shot. Lucky shot there, Raj. Nice job. So, and Tall and Sleek 2, instead of just buffing your defense and that even more, which you think, oh, that's the... Realistically, that's what should be done. Nope. No, instead, it gets even more broken. How does an ability that buffs your defense get even more broken with Tall and Sleek? Well, you're about to see that in a couple chapters' time, so I'm going to leave that as a surprise. But I'll give you an idea of how broken it could be through Verse League. And what Verse League does, as it gets upgraded to Verse League 2, the delay is still just as strong as ever, right? Don't get me wrong, the delay is just as strong as ever. However, how do you make that delay, you know, fantastic? Well, let me tell you. How do you make such a delay be extremely fantastic? You make it go from one tile, of hitting an enemy, and you turn it to many tiles, and you turn that tile to many tiles. You see where we go with this. So number 2 just kind of has the tile space of like a shine saber, of just a shine saber, which is 5 tiles. It comes out in a little cross. Number 3, yes, they go to 3. So Spurs League gets like an extra 1 to 2 in the slots there. Verse League, and Tall and Sleek will go to Tall and Sleek 3. That'll come back. I'll come back to that one. It will come. That'll all come back in ahead. And Verse League 3, well, it just gets even bigger. It becomes nearly as big as a Summon Burst, and that's phenomenal. And it still stays just as broken as ever. So, no. You know what? I forgot to do something here. So, I need to check on something. Just give me a second. I need more experience. So, all those characters we got with all their levels for free at level 10 and 9. All those characters, they're just sitting around doing nothing. So instead of just sitting around doing nothing, what they can do right about now is just they can give me all their EXP, every single little bit, because they don't need their EXP anymore. I need every little last drop. They don't need well, level 2s, they can stick around. Level 18s, nope, I want you level 1. You do not, yes, you need to exist. You do not anymore. You don't really get all the levels of EXP that you would normally get. You'd waste. It only comes to about 70%. But when you get characters like Toya and Miss Aya here for free at like up in the 20s, free is good. It's still free, just basically free EXP. I quickly forgot to do that. And you know what? That's great. Like now I'm kind of set. You just got to skip some more cutscenes. You'd think a game like this with all the mechanics in it, you're like, okay, Damer, you're like, all right, we kind of see you kind of see how everything's kind of going, okay? Yeah, it's like, okay, you just kind of boost your characters up. Levels are important, so of course EXP is important. So you steal all the characters, you're not doing it in a run. Job done. What if I were to tell you that we need to go back? We need to go back and level drain a character I just missed. Do you remember Aya and how she was about 24? Yeah, she's not any... Yeah, she needs to go back to level 1. And you would think in the game, that should not have been allowed. You just saw me take away her EXP not even 30 seconds ago, right? Did you ever want to know how to get, all the EXP you wanted on a character with all the skill points you ever wanted on them? That's how you do it. You can only do it on this fight. And don't ask me why this works. This is the only fight that it works on. It might work on the Japanese version of this too. But, don't ask me why Aya's back to level 24. I just trained it. And what makes her special is that, look at her skill point amount. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to explain why the game does this. Yeah, So I need to deploy 3 specific characters. This, you, and you, because you need levels, but also you, because I need to distribute your skill points, especially. So, you might be wondering, like, damn it, why the heck is this happening? Well, as far as I could work, I found this by complete accident, by the way. I actually did find this particular one by 100% complete accident. And as from what I can work out, this works in that normally when you get a new character, you know, to join you in your crusade
Too bad. So sad.
against these demon lords and, you know, the enemy, they are either automatically deployed in the fight or you get them after the fight. Aya here turns out to be really, really special in a completely different regard. In that, yep, get all 3. Aya turns out to be really special because officially she only joins your party. Excuse me. Don't know why I'm really like this today, or tonight. Officially, she only joins your party after, right at this moment, right at the start of this fight. But she's not automatically deployed. That's an important thing to note. So because she's not automatically deployed, because she's not automatically deployed, she is, well, she just kind of sits in this weird space where she has to automatically be leveled, because the characters are always given to you at a certain level, right? They're all like, every character's given to you a certain level at what you, kind of giving you an indicator of what you should be at this point in the game. So for us, we should be at, like, you know, around the 23, 24 mark with every character. Or with, you know, with our chosen party members, as it were. Whoever they may be. And if this character was, you know, in a forced deployment, it would be a completely different story. Where it's like, okay, you know, we can just, you know, retreat from the fight because we're like, oh, we didn't realize this was immediately a fight. You know, casually you might, oh, I didn't know this was a fight. How could I possibly ever know such an important thing? So you're allowed to retreat from the fight. But here's where things get a little bit shaky, and we get a little bit. Really, both of them are getting paralyzed. Are you serious, game? Sure, alright, that's fine. Okay, that's really a run. I've had a real run of bad luck because, and since they're paralyzed, I cannot use one character to solve another character's paralysis, which is the worst part in my eyes. Darn it, that's not what I was looking for. But yeah, but back to the point. So the reason why it works so well for Aya is because she's in that weird space, which means the game has automatically leveled her to 24. And every level you gain a set amount of skill points tied to your levels. I believe it's something like 5 per level. Automatically. This works, this is given to even characters who are automatically leveled up. And what makes this extra special, okay, what makes this actually extra special is just for you. I'm gonna use I'm gonna use the same spell against you, you little turd. What makes this extra special is that skill points. If you say you level down a character casually, but then you decide later you want to level that character right back up. You're like, oh, I changed my mind. I want to take them from, like, you know, level 10 to level 8, but then you're like, oh, I changed my mind. I'm going to take them from level 8 back to level 10. The game will, in fact, give you skill points. Like, give you 10 extra skill points, even though all you literally did was just level them back to 10. It gives you 3 skill points. And so that that also works in our favor, especially for characters who need to be automatically leveled, such as Aya here in this fight, where she's supposed to come at level 24. And now you start seeing, and now I think we all start seeing how that comes together.
Here we go.
In that, this is where I want to be, force last, every single character, boom, get all those precious skill points, like so. And for Aya, we have a big menu with her. So because we've leveled her down, taken away her EXP, she's given us like 100,000. Look at that, my EXP is like nearly 1 million. Because just from doing all of that. Which gives me my final levels in the game for Raj at level 35, which is fantastic right here. And of course, every time she has to go back to 24, she has to be given like 80 skill points every go. Because you're given skill points every level, which is just absolutely fantastic, right? Actually no solid complaints right there. And because of this exploit, and because of this little oversight, just with Aya here, it means we kind of sit here like this is the Sonic 1, you know, Game Gear screen, and we just kind of, or like a classic Sonic game on a score screen, and we just kind of wait for it to run out here. We can just kind of level her straight to where we need her to be, and we just utterly clean house. I'm pretty sure, yes, class linker. And now I get a few more of my skills here, which is, let's see, 1, 5, speed, yep, which is max HP, 1, 2, yep, Militia, yes, max MP, 5, skill level stuff, only 3 this time, that's okay. Aya gets a lot of stuff. Yeah, which makes Aya completely 100% viable because she keeps getting free skill points and free EXP. She's actually a very good character, surprisingly. Especially since she's so broken, since any other guide out there will tell you, in case you ever want to, in case someone had this game and are like, oh, I'm sick of grinding skill points, because every guide tells you to go straight to, every guide basically tells you to go straight to, like, you know, boosting Raj until you get to the end, and yada, 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 and you're like, it's boring, it takes so long, and you know, it's not fantastic. Well, I'm going to save you even more time than even repeating chapters, or anything. I'm going to save you even more time. I need one of these, yes. No, quite enough for a bit of last bit of that. Yeah, sure, why not? Why not? That's that one done. That is that one absolutely done. Like, this is actually the fastest way to get enough EXP, specifically on this chapter. So instead of doing something dumb of like, oh, I can repeat chapter, like, 19 or whatever for like, years on end, you know, to get like 100k each time, because you got to repeat just that one chapter. You know, that's slow. That takes like at least 10 minutes because you got to actually go through the fight. With this, if all you do is just go into, you know, the start of the that was chapter 22's fight, retreat out immediately, and then steal all of Aya's EXP at that point in time, you get literally 100,000 EXP and like her skill points that can just go up to whatever. I think the max cap is 99 or 999 on any one character before you have to start spending them. For as much as you want, for literally up to the EXP limit of I think about 9,999,999. So I hope everyone enjoyed that little fun fact there. And in case you ever wanted to buy this game, I'm thinking you might want to go for the American copy, because if you kind of look on PSN, it's like $90 reduce Australian, and good luck to think if I'm going to pay that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's 900. It's like $90 reduce, mate. That's not good. I need to. Why is Natsumi always down that list too far and then just an age? And you get to get attached there. Yep, start that fine. Right. And because this game is so wonderful, it just keeps introducing us to new mechanics, like, super late into the game, because why the heck? Why the heck wouldn't it, you know? We need more, we need more new mechanics, and why doesn't that seem... Ah, of course.
I'm all in on this.
Thing. Yep, I need to connect first, because the way I've got my options set up, and then do this. So this new mechanic here is the thread layer, and I think I might have mentioned about how every character's got a, you know, a limited moveset on the tiles, you know. Basically every character has a base set of, you know, 3 moves. You can move up to 3 spaces in front of them. Certain characters are allowed to move 4. Natsumi here happens to be one of those characters. Naturally, I think Mr. Ray back then and his female counterparts from Summer Night 4, Faye, I know, very creative right there. Don't even get me started on that one. On that particular little thing. You know, they get to they can move 4 tiles as well, but unfortunately they're just not useful enough to run. I found they just don't quite get there in terms of being able to be
I'm ready to do what I can.
and into actually being, you know, good enough. Unfortunately, so instead we use Natsumi, who actually has, and she becomes good because her speed just goes through the absolute roof. It is just mind-boggling how fast Natsumi can actually be. Some assist on there. It's just she's mind-bogglingly fast. Alright? So that's why we use her, and especially on these web layers, because remember how I said every character has minimum 3 move? Well, that little tutorial screen right there, it doesn't look like they do now. But that little tutorial screen that just popped up just for this stage, and this will be for the boss fight as well. The final boss fight, as it turns out. Yeah, this reduces the amount of spaces every character can move by 1. So every character that could move 3, like Mr. Raj here, well now they can only move 1 tile. Or now they can only move 2 tiles, like here. However, but Natsumi here can still move 3 instead of her 4. So the idea behind this stage, and it's taking advantage of mechanics like change out and using Raj's spur sleeves creatively to move as much as possible and really just get this fight over with, because these later half of the fights become less about routing the entire enemy and, you know, beating them all, and become more along the lines of beat the bosses in these stages, and we're done, which is really kind of nice when you're starting to get to the end of the game, because there's still a lot to go in this game. There's still a lot of game to go through. No, I don't need to. I actually don't need to do anything yet.
Good enough for
I'm
now.
ready to do what I can.
Yep, here. So, really not much to this stage. It's just kind of
Failure was your only
not much
option.
going on, but this is where it really starts opening up that, like, yes, this is kind of the we're really starting to hit the end of the game here, just right at this moment, where the ground has opened up, and we need to get ready to start fighting, you know, God, I guess, of the Cocoon World, because hey, we gotta fight God, man. God's a jerk. We need to we needed to really, you know, hit him in the head. We really needed to smack him in the face and tell him to stop being a jerk. Also, why am I not back on Priam? I need to put Raj back on Priam. No wonder things are looking not so hot here. And Felicia in this fight.
I knew that was good.
Yeah. And when we kind of get there, I'll show you why, like what his name is, because just like Fallujah, it kind of like this namesake is, you know, kind of like his name. The world, his name ends up being Illa de Lucia. And you might think, why does it start with an I? That's kind of like Ist. There's an important. Well, that's a bit of a. Well, you can't really see my face on this, but you got a bit on the nose on that one. But I can't really give too much away on that because this is still a kind of recent game. I'll let you play through it yourself, but I'll at least show off. But I'm gonna have to show off the final boss.
Here we go.
You know, can't really help that one. But is it really the final boss? Question mark. When true ending is around. So goodbye to that character forever.
Good enough for now.
For characters that can't join us, like these fella people, you know, they go away, they just kind of, you know, get removed from the face of the earth for just basically forever, really. They don't need it, they're made of string. They aren't real people. It's not like Soylent Green, they literally just aren't real people, unfortunately. I know it's sad, but they could always be in your hearts if you consider them real people. Yeah, I really just don't like this stage because of, you know, the limited movement on the webbing. Why this comes up so late in the game, I don't know. It's a weird. Personally, I think it's a weird pacing issue, but at the same time, you know, you realize the game just kind of it's gotta wrap up at some point, you know. So and we're kind of reaching, and I'm glad we're right near the end. So it's been a fun time for all of us. I hope everyone's learned a lot this past couple hours. They've just really flown by, huh? And what do I actually need? Oh yeah, I just need UCD for the levels. And well, obviously you might think that, well, 34 Damo, is that a bit expensive? Is that going to be excessive for levels? Nah, not really. It's not really going to be very excessive for levels, that's for sure. We're at the 30 mark with the way we've raised our characters here. It's actually exactly, as it turns out, it's kind of exactly what we need. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? So let's get rid of. We've gotten rid of Miss Fellerati and her strange outfit with. I will point out. I know it is a curious question because it's also actually a small talking point too that the characters also recognize in universe, that when she kind of uses her weapon Shartos and all that, she kind of looks like she gets cat ears. Yeah, look, I'm sorry to disappoint that no, those aren't cat ears. I'm sorry. And put in some speed. Because unfortunately Atti's a little bit slow in regard. But that's okay, we fixed that. 5, next, and up to 4. Not enough for 5, but we have enough for that. That's good. And that's there. So we're right near the end. Now, you might wonder why, well, why was there such a bid war for the protagonist? You've told us about the ending, but the protagonist, isn't it just, you just pick the person you follow? Well, it wouldn't really be, you know, much of, like, you know, a path straight to God and fighting, fighting and punching God in the face because why, man, he's just a jerk. Without having a little bit of conflict between protagonists because we didn't quite pick them. So this is the consequence of not picking the other protagonist. Amuru's kind of jealous that she only raised like $5 against that bid war, and I'm a bit ashamed too. So now she's kind of got it in her head that, no, God is right. End the world, because he's ending the world. We, you know, that's it. Like, I agree with that. We might as well just end the world. Screw everyone. It's gotten really bad out here all of a sudden. No, I need to, use specific characters. That's me. Atty. Yeah, that's it. She's literally ready to end the world at any time. And then we're just like, oh, we're just like, what are you doing? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Get back to your senses and all that. And, you know, we just kind of have to deal with it as it comes. It's gotten very, very tough out there. Very tough out there. In the world of Illic Lucia, because the world, look around you, the world's just falling apart. It's literally held together by strings for the love of God. It's a mess. Like, you know, what can we do? We just gotta, you know, the solution that they've come up with: punch God in the face until he fixes it. If he does choose to fix it, but he's a jerk, so he's not gonna fix it. We just have to punch him hard. Isn't that the solution to everything? And remember how I mentioned Toland's League 2 and 3 and how they got better? You know, and as things upgraded, you know, they got better. Yeah, I hope everyone's happy that for that case, because so when I didn't mention Toland's League 2, it doesn't just buff defense anymore. Toland's League 2 no longer just buffs defense. Now, Toland's League 2 also buffs speed. It buffs speed the same amount that defense and magic defense get buffed. So it literally stacks. Okay? And you think, well, okay, that's much better. So how bad is Toland's League 3? Toland's League 3 gives all of, you know, Amu's allies a buff to not just defense, magic defense, and speed. It also buffs their attack and magic attack. It does it all at once. Yeah. So the real thing that makes this level challenging is that Amu is always going to constantly cast every time it's her turn and she's not using it already. Every single turn is going to use Toland's League 3 to buff these enemies. And before, this used to be really, really tough, back when, you know, this game was kind of like 5 hours. But you know, I've kind of rerouted that a little bit and made it so that no, this isn't going to take about that amount of time. It's only going to take like a little bit less than that, and a few explanations. But it still takes a lot of time because it only takes a lot more time because there's a lot of you know, like, it's just extra animation to go through, as opposed to, well, if Amu won this big war, and we decided Amu was now the protagonist we have chosen to follow on this journey and see an ending with a character with, like an ending for a character with, instead we get to fight against Raj, but not the Raj that we have raised up here. Not level 35 Raj. No, Raj suddenly gets downgraded to level 27 here, and that's just about, you know, that's kind of like the end of it there. That he just gets downgraded to like level 27, and then we have to kind of make our way over there with Amu being forced in the party in Raj's place here. But fortunately, you know, we don't. And Raj will only move when we get close enough, and we've, you know, destroyed his spidery entourage because these spiders are attracted to destruction. Who knew? Who knew? I never knew. And I guess it's also fitting since, haha, spiders in Australia. You can tell I'm reaching something here, but I can't help it. This is the way this game is. Oh, I need to swap Nesty out. Okay. So for this, because we're using Raj instead, that's bad. Instead, we're gonna have Raj make his way to Armor and just, you know, and literally, you know, just thrust the spear in her face and knock her upside the head, going, "What the heck are you thinking? Did you, like, how did you go so crazy?"
Good enough for me.
Yeah, to think destroying the world is actually a good idea.
Bye-bye.
Or agreeing to help destroy the world is actually
All right.
the best idea you can have. Ugh. So yeah, that's I hope everyone's happy with the results of this of that little big war. No protagonist is forgotten. Every character is still kinda where they all still kinda around. Oh, I'm so glad we got it.
Failure was your only option. Let's start.
Did my hosting friend wake up a bit, or is he still a bit dizzy and really tired? I think because it's been a real long time since I heard from him. I'm kind of missing him. I miss his voice. Doesn't everyone else? Don't we all miss?
Full speed ahead. Take that. Missed me by
No,
that
maybe
much.
it's just me. Oh well.
Too bad. So sad. Good enough for
We'll
now.
get there in the end. We'll get there in the end. One day I hope to hear.
Good enough for now.
One day I hope we all wake up
I'm
again
ready to do what I
from
can.
the comfort of
My turn now. I made
from the
that
comfort
look
that is this game.
Got this.
I need to heal him. He's just out of touch with that one, huh? Tea and Vegemite. Now that's very Australian of you, my good man. That is very Australian of you, well, man or woman. Who else is having a bit of tea and Vegemite today?
Spoko EXP2 I hash
Because it is early in the morning now, in the great land of Australia here. Is what's everyone having for their lunch or brekkie or
All right.
heck, or even dinner? Maybe even a light snack.
Let's start.
I'm going to swap Nesty this time. Because I want to heal Raj up a little bit since he's taking some...
Bonai Witakvo Zaslania Okno. Laughing face.
I think, yes. Sure, blink. Yes, that's what I want to do.
Witness the power.
Heal you up, Mr. Raj. Just for a little bit. Perfect. Now you can really get in business.
Showtime.
Melon and wheat mixes? Oh, that sounds beautiful, mate. That sounds like a healthy combination.
Missed me by that
I need to,
much.
honestly, I think I'm going to need to buy me. Not as Australian of me, unfortunately, but I'm going to have to... Milo! Oh, Milo! Oh, I misunderstood that one.
Missed me by that much.
I misunderstood that one. That's really... Now, that's very Australian of you.
Showtime.
That is superb for you, mate. Very superb.
Too bad. So sad. All right.
Morning. Tea and Vegemite seem likely. Yeah.
GQH. Smiley face.
I'd like to go for it, but right now I've got a bit of water on me right here as I'm mashing buttons.
That's just embarrassing.
You know, a bit of water's always doing us good, and you know what? I think we've still got our lovely host who has no words to say, but always something to say in the chat. Our lovely host, Nightbot. How do we ever forget Nightbot?
Too bad. So sad.
Nightbot always knows exactly what to say.
Yup, that's about right. Good going, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Nightbot. Right, and that's that done, and we've knocked some sense into Armor. Then, you know, she's decided she's seen the error of her ways now, back at level 1. I think she might have been a bit jealous that we stole, you know, we mainly stole her levels, but that's okay. That's okay. We forgive Amu, don't we? Don't we, everyone? We forgive Amu. You know, we can't all be perfect. Might as well give you some bit of that, actually, Mr. Nesty. Finish the leveling right there. Yep, beautiful. That sounds like some beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Well, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Perth is still. Well, yeah. Like Perth's like 4 hours away. Okay, give me a rest. I hope everyone at Perth is enjoying a nice sleep. And you know what? You know what? As a special treat, as a special ASM special marathon treat, which ending would you like? Which ending does everyone like? Would you like me to pick? Would you like me to pick Amu, or would you like me to pick Hayato? I think I'd like to go Amu, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it to the first person in chat that responds. Maybe even my asleep host. The cute girl? There we go. Ending solved, unfortunately. I'm sorry for those who enjoyed Demon Lord Hayato's antics of trying to devour the world, but Amu it is. I think you know what, it does fit. It's very fitting. The cute girl, Amu, you know, right at the end, she didn't quite make it as the protagonist of the Bid War, but at the end, we can still accept that she's also a protagonist. So so we perfectly accept her. Also, Raku, why are you still up? Are you also up to get some tea and Vegemite, maybe some Milo and Wheat Bix in ya? Maybe a little bit you know what? Maybe you decide you want to go for some muesli, or you know what? Maybe a bit of toast. Some jam. And now we're right at the end of the game, and obviously, because we're right at the end of the game, this is, you know, it's the final preparation. Everyone's getting pumped and getting prepared. We all go our separate ways, and we're like, yeah, we're resolved to do this. We're resolved to punch God, even if we punch him so hard that he ends up, you know, carking it, and that ends up destroying the world. Sometimes you just can't help it. You just can't help that you've hit someone so hard in the face that you've ended up destroying the world. It happens, you know. Haven't you ever woken up one day, you've kind of stubbed your toe, and then you've realized that you've opened the fabric of space and time. You know, you've opened the fabric of space and time right as soon as you stub your toe, and you get sucked into that vortex. Or maybe it's just me, but you know. It might just be me, but I can't tell you how many times it might have happened. Or you've opened a box of Special K and suddenly, like, it sucked your glasses right in there because it's the astronaut Special K. Right, I need to buy some stuff. This is the last amount of shopping in that we do. I know, I never had to do it before, but hey, time for some shopping. Do a bit of that, get a little bit of that. Time to get about 4 of these. We need about 2, 3 of these. This is where all that money is going. And large clear one, 5, 6. Yep. You know what? I can get some extra. Why not? Yeah, spend a bit extra. It's special time. Just for Special K, we're gonna spend a little bit extra. Of course. And we need to buff a few summons, especially Mr. Knucklebolt over here and Double Impact. You wanna know why? Because we're gonna get this. Whoop. What am I missing? I need more money. How about that, people? So, you know what we can just sell? Why not? I don't need that. I don't need that anymore. I can buy whatever. I didn't realize that I could just sell that. Okay, sure. And yeah, I have enough money now. That was quite easy. Yeah, whatever. Regardless, let's just increase that to the max. We need to increase this particular spell a couple times. And then, just for good measure, our lovely friend, Shine Saber, we're just gonna... Wow, I'm missing it. You know what? We're just gonna increase him a few times, and that's literally it. Now it's time to go to the final battle. And like any good JRPG, the final boss will have multiple forms. Duh. How does a final boss not have at least 2 forms minimum? That is a travesty. And you know, we get a little bit of anime to do this, but you know what? I can't be bothered showing that right about now. We're better off. We're just gonna skip through that. But I assure you, it's an awesome moment. But a little bit of spoilers in that. We'll just knock that by. Don't worry about that. Also, another person who's also awake at 5:30 in the morning. Why do you? What's going on, mate? Why is everyone suddenly getting up at like 5:30 in the morning here? Like, I don't understand if you're still going up and it's like in Perth and, you know, 3 in the morning. It's like, yeah, I've just kind of been staying up and chilling. I'm relaxing with this soothing game. But if you're gonna be like, no, it's 5:30 in the morning, mate. It's like, dude, it's 5:30 in the bloody morning. Come on now. Right, I need you, and then I need to swap to the other side, because obviously he's a giant spider. We're going to take his legs out first, then we've got to take him out. You know, and it works in poetic justice. I need to swap your class back to Saber. Aha! So I can actually use spells properly. And we start the fight. Well, unless obviously it's oh, beautiful, beautiful. Right, I don't have to bust out my secret. Well, unfortunately, I can't really bust out my super secret games. Not really as dependable, unfortunately. There. That's great to know. Great to know. We've got a lot more fantastic runs for you right in the future, so obviously stick around right for that. It's going to be a heck of a time. 2 p.m. I hope you're going to be able to have some fantastic lunch, maybe some Vegemite and tea, or even some Milo and maybe some Wheat Bix if you feel like it. If you can't have that access ready for you, that's okay. Get yourself some Wheaties and get yourself some weeds and some chocolate milk, and you know what? Just as an extra special for you, honorary Australian, just for at least going for the mild effort of doing that. For the mild effort of doing that. Like, no offense whatsoever. You've done your best, because I know how hard it is in overseas to get some Vegemite overseas. It's very expensive.
Here we go.
And Marmite is obviously not Vegemite, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but it's a different consistency than actual Vegemite. So yeah, cannot accept that. Although I hear it's really good, so you know what? More power to those who who decide that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to demolish you, Mr. Spider. Right, I really shouldn't have put Raj there, but it's fine. Welcome to the final boss, yeah, and he's just going to keep attacking us with his legs. And String. String is obviously the enemy of all mankind. Everyone knows just String is bad. And see, he's a giant spider, so we cause him to topple over a bit, and that's fine. And now he's going to be like, how dare you, show me, how dare you smack me in the legs. That's not good, you people, you should listen to me, the all-consuming god, and I'm the best. I am the best, and I'm going and now it's time for me to devour the world, because screw being the actual good god and actually making creation, all of life. No, I'd rather destroy it. That's his entire thing. Yeah, look, I'm sorry I'm not the best voice actor. Okay, just play along, okay? Just play along with it, and we'll all be okay. I know I'm not the best voice actor, but it's 5 in the morning. Please give me a break. I need Natsumi for this. Natsumi is still important, because lo and behold, we're fighting a giant spider in their giant web. So, yeah, it only makes sense that, we, I kind of use Natsumi to help move closer to the action. You know what I mean? But she's a bit flimsy, so, we're gonna, bring Raj back in. The game voice acting. think it's alright. I don't think there's not much wrong with, the game voice acting. It's quite nice in English. When it actually goes, it kind of picks and chooses whether it's, you know, when it comes and goes at times. But also, this is why I buffed up so many mages, because I'd like you to all have a little gander at that health bar. And he's at level 30. Yes. This is the final boss. And he had, because he's at level 30, he has he has a lot of defense and magic defense. So now you know why, you know, needed to buff the characters at what they are, to, you know, to actually hurt him with like the best spells that we can at the time. And you think, oh, 100 damage is a significant chunk of damage, right? Yeah, until you realize he's got like nearly 900, like 600 health, like each form at 3 phases. So yeah, that's ooh, you know, it kind of starts. You can kind of start feeling around, eh? That's okay. You know why? You know why? You know why this is all okay? Because we have Spurs League 3, and we have Raj. And on this final form, this final actual form here, just going to annihilate Illidalucia here. This is the final boss. We're just going to attack him a few times, just lower that health just a tad bit more, because now I'm going to use that very special spell, Force Last, and that's going to do about like a chunk of damage. And just because we're extra special, we get to end this fight the best way possible. Force Last 3, one more time. That is it. And get ready, and someone get ready on that timer, because I just skip a couple cutscenes. You know, we clear the fight, and I just, you know, I take off the menu and we get credits. So I hope someone is really actually ready on that timer, because it's really coming up, you know, in now. Oop. Not even my splits got that one. Just off to the side here. And that's it. And, you know, we get ending cutscenes. That's it. Game done. Where, who would have thought a giant dragon comes in to squash the spider for us? We just needed to make him, you know, needed to make spider weaker. And just like most people with spiders, we make him go squish. That might change in true ending, but yeah, we make spider go squish. And we get anime and final cutscenes like, yeah, we did it. We destroyed God, and we accidentally destroyed the world too. This world's not going to survive. So you know what our 3 protagonists who do belong in the world do? Well, they do the good thing, and all the friends they made along the way, they do the nice thing, and they use their last bit of power to control the world with those golden threads and send everyone back home to their proper places and timelines. Oh, that's a nice ending now, isn't it? And, you know, we could go through credits, but I like to be able to skip the credits. And remember that ending we picked? Look at this. How nice is this? We get to see the aftermath. Because we're supposed to be dead, no one remembers that we actually existed, and the world doesn't actually exist. And yet Raj and Amu, they're still alive. Look at that. Somehow, through some amazing amount of miraculous feats, and maybe a little bit of inspiration from a couple other games that did something similar with this, you know, of like, what happens when our world actually ends? Do we keep going or not? They keep going. Raj and Amu actually keep going, and even Ist is here. The man who oversees the world.
I was just so happy that
who was supposed to be acting in, you know, Illidalucia, God's stead, but you know what? He had a change of heart and went, nah, screw you, mate. Screw you, mate. You, like, nah, not on, that's not on. So instead, that's where the place was, Limbalm. Thank you, Raj. Thank you for helping me, Memory Ware. we send everyone back their home in Lindblom.
It was true.
I'm so
And in that world. So it's like, yeah, we exist, the world kinda just came back, it just kinda came back, and it's now its own world. It no longer, because Illadelush is no longer around, we punched him so hard, you know, he's been squished by random dragon god from nowhere.
Would you like to?
Now, this world just, you know, it becomes its own thing now. It gets to become its own little deal, and we get to see little ending of other people actually remembering us, and, you know, I'm just kind of going to go through this, because this will just keep going on and 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 blah 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 blah. You know, but it shows that they still kind of remember our protagonist Raj. He still exists, so you still picked right, everybody. You still picked a great protagonist. He's still remembered. He's you know, he's not around them in their world, but he's not forgotten. We